What's going on, guys? Davis Hirsch here from Hirsch Power Garage. Welcome back to another video. As the title suggests, today we're going to be installing a billet red tack dial from CravenSpeed. Additionally, we are going to be doing a full JDL turbo series on this car, as well as a clutch install, fueling, and the full kit. So stay tuned if you want to see more content on this. We do have a couple videos of exhaust setups over the past year or two, which can be found in my playlist linked below. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, I want to give a big shout out to CravenSpeed for working with us on this video. But when your part arrives, what you're going to get is, like I said, the billet tack dial. I've already gone ahead and removed this from the plastic, so don't worry about that. But this thing looks immaculate. Additionally, the instructions for this will be found online where you have ordered it from. I'll also go ahead and link those in the description. But without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get started on the disassembly. So to get started, we're first gonna go ahead and loosen up the center dash mount. I've got this taped off in plastic just to avoid scratching it, as well as my trim removal tool wrapped up just because I've kind of scratched it a little too much. We're gonna pop this in there, and you might have to force it down a little bit, but once that's in there, gently pry outwards. Alright guys, so now that we have that just slightly loosened, it's not going to be totally removed, but I can clearly stick my finger through this gap now. As you can see here, that's going to be sufficient. And now we're going to move ahead and go to the left side of the tachometer. Alright guys, so next for the left side of the gauge cluster, once we have the centerpiece loose but not removed as you saw in the last clip, we're going to gently kind of pull on this. You're going to have to tug on it a little more than you're probably going to want to, but as you can see, the seam starts here, so this is what we're focusing on. And I can feel one of the clips just came loose, but yeah, there we go. So you will have to press pretty firm, and keep in mind there are a couple sensors plugged in on the back side of the gauge pod, so you can't yank the whole thing out just yet. But I'm gonna go ahead and move towards the center, but remember that the reason we removed or loosened the trim panel over here in the previous clip is because it's connected to the AC vent on the right side. So recording this voiceover after we've already completed the installation, it is going to be easier to get this done if you understand how the parts should go together. So the gauge pod hood is the female end. So you basically, I know you've already unclipped it from the main dashboard, but what you're going to have to do is, the reason we loosened that trim piece at the very start, that has a male prong on the back side. So you kind of need to pull the male side to get it unclipped from the gauge pod hood, and if possible you'll push the gauge pod hood a bit forwards so you can get them to basically separated from one another. It's really hard to get on camera, but that is basically the way they're held together. This took us probably 10 minutes to just get this one clip, but if you keep wiggling it, it will eventually come on out. So as I mentioned, guys, this is the female end on the gauge pod. So this is going to plug into it. So essentially what you're going to try and have to do is push this inwards. Even though you just pop the clips out, you're going to kind of have to push this inwards while pulling this piece outwards. It's going to work better if you have two people. And there is a plastic clip that holds this trim piece, which is really sharp, but oh well, you'll have to deal with it. The next piece is going to be removing the electronic clip on the gauge cluster. You can see that white clip right there. All right guys, so to remove the microphone sensor, you can actually pull the wiring harness a little bit more to give you an extra 2 or 3 inches of room. And then what I did is went ahead and thumb right down there, push this tab upwards, the one in the very end, not the ridged tab right there, and you'll just disconnect it and you'll be good to go. All right guys, so once you've got the gauge pod removed, what you're gonna do is have 2 more Phillips head screws right down there. Additionally, you're gonna have 4 little clips you'll have to remove. I'll go wide angle here so you can see them. 1, 2, 3, and then the 4th will be right down there. After that, you're gonna be good to pop this off and then get started with the installation of the billet tactile. All right guys, so next you're gonna do is removing the OEM tactile. Keep in mind, as you can see here on the left side, these do need to be centered when you reinstall everything. Ours fell off because of the fan, so please excuse that if you hear it in any clips. But to remove the OEM dial, I'm just gonna be careful to not nudge the tachometer thread. I'm gonna set this aside. So to reinstall the new CravenSpeed billet tactile, what you're gonna go ahead and do is once again be very careful with this, and also don't bump your trip reset dial. But we're gonna slide this downwards at an angle and then upwards just like that before popping it on the 2 mounting pins. It should pop right on. The CravenSpeed holes are a little bit smaller than the OEM ones, so we did just so slightly expand these holes with a 5/32 bit, but you can pop it on before. I just felt like I was pressing a little too hard, but regardless, I've seen other people in the Miata groups, theirs popped on just fine. With that said, what we're gonna go ahead and do is now basically reverse what we did to remove this, but I can already tell this thing is gonna look insane. So here we are after installing it. This thing looks phenomenal. And like I said, we're gonna go ahead and reinstall everything right now, and then I will get some final after shots and first impressions. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope y'all did enjoy today's video. If you do want to see more content on this car, feel free to subscribe. We're going to be doing a JDL turbo kit install, so that's going to go everything from the clutch to the fueling, as well as the actual install of the kit. I do also have a lot of content on this car on my channel already if you go back to some past videos. Once again, I do respond to every single comment, so if you do have any questions, feel free to leave those below. Additionally, my channel is monetized, but I'm really not making that much yet, so if you do want to support the channel, I have links to my PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App in the description. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope y'all did enjoy. All right, guys, so here we are finished with the installation. Obviously the car's a little bit dirty, but this tack looks incredible. So I'm gonna go ahead and start the car now.